my dad always told me that being a successful woman in the future, don't be too ambitious or too independent. Find a nice guy to have a family and raise your kids. But for me, deep down, I really think that kind of lifestyle that my parents already lived, I don't want that.
Candice Feng is the co-owner of Miss Morning, a skincare brand trying to simplify morning routines.
The hardest lesson that I learned, you firstly need to obsess with your product. You need to 100% trust your business, and you should be the first one to sell your product no matter what.
Candice, welcome to The House Story.
Oh, thank you so much for having me.
I'm pumped to go through your story today. So why don't we start with, who was Candice as a young girl?
Oh, that's a very interesting question. I think my childhood was very different compared with a lot of people who born and raised in here. I was born and raised in China, and we lived in a very small city, 3 or 4th tier of the city, northwest. So, and my parents, they are all very ordinary kind of office worker. And I always been taught that you should be a good girl, which means you should be polite, humble, and obedient, and not always, outspoken. So that's the way how I educated. And I think from very young age until the year I get to the uni, I was always the girl that meet my parents' expectation and focus on my academic scores and trying to be a good student. And I remember that my dad always told me that, being a successful woman in the future, you need to have a good academic score, and you also don't be too ambitious or too independent. Wow. And you just need to focus what you're currently doing, and in the future you will be able to get a good job and then find a nice guy to have a family and raise your kids. So that's a successful woman means. So I think that belief is really setting a limitation for myself. Until the year, I think it was the 3rd year of the uni, then it's hitting to the point that I need to decide what kind of the lifestyle that I want in the future, what kind of the job that I wanted to have. And because of my dad is living his life in a very traditional way. So he's not against the business, but he definitely thinking, as a girl, you don't need to think about that. It's too risky. It's not, you're never gonna make it. So he want me to find a stable job, and that's it, and live a normal life. But for me, deep down, I really think maybe during that time, my kind of rebel energy slowly rising. So we had quite a lot argument during that time. And I know that back then, even though I don't know what kind of the things that I wanted to do, or even if I started a business, what kind of the industry that I wanted to jump in, but I do know that kind of lifestyle that my parents already lived, I don't want that. I wanted something new. I wanted to maybe take some risk, but to experiencing something new. So that was my thought. But back then, it was really hard for me to say no to my dad straight away. So instead of get a job straight away, I did my master degree in the same university that I had back in China, and then I did my second master degree, double degree, honestly, in Uni Adelaide. So I studied so many years, and people were thinking, oh, you are really good at studying. But honestly, I think it was my kind of escape plan, because I really need to take time to figure out what I'm good at or what I really wanted to do. But still, when the days comes to graduation, I need to decide whether I wanted to stay in Australia or maybe go back to China. But I do know that if I'm going back, then no matter which city I'm gonna live in, but somehow my parents can still kind of manipulate me. I would use that word. I know they are very protective. Obviously, they love me. They don't want me to take any risk to experiencing that kind of like failure, breakdown, or all of that, trying to avoid any risk for me. But I just don't want that. I just wanted to experiencing something new. So I decided to maybe give it a try and just to try to stay in Australia and figure out my visa and, find something that I can do here.
Yeah.
So we had a very intense argument, even fight between the family for quite a long while after that decision. And even I think it was during COVID. I had a job, full-time job, and also because my dad still wanted me to going back, so I just said no. I said, I like my life here right now. I have friends here. I already got my full-time. It was not that easy to find a full-time job during that time.
Yeah.
And he was so disappointed, so he blocked my content straight away. So almost over 1 year, more than 1 year, we didn't have any conversation after that. So I just secretly texted my mom, update my life. Even though during that time was lonely, tough, but I think it was my first time to enjoy my freedom. I really get my chance to decide, I wanted to do this. I wanted to try something new. Even during my full-time job, I was starting to thinking that in the future, what kind of the business that I can do, what kind of the industry I may create something for myself. Yeah, so I really enjoy that. I really have the control to make the decision.
Yeah. There's a lot to unpack there. Why do you think you had that instinct to want to go and do your own thing? Where do you think that comes from? If both parents were generally more conservative and traditional, why did you feel like where do you think that's come from in you?
I think it was interesting. It was also the question that my parents always have, because in my entire family, not only my parents, my auntie, uncles, they all work in a very traditional kind of job, and people, they're not very keen to doing business and taking risk.
Why is that?
I don't know. Maybe it's just the culture, or it's the background. So yeah, we are not educated. You should be an entrepreneur. But for me, I can only remember that I always have a lot of ideas, and I'm keen to try. I'm not saying I have to start my business, but just because of this idea, creativity, that makes me so curious about a lot of things. So that's why I wanted to just give it a try, not necessarily I need to register that ABN to start these things. I already secretly tried a lot of things, even back in uni, and tried a lot of interest group and even startup team to try a lot of things. Wow. So I found that it's really interesting. I don't want to do boring things that is always repetitive. I wanted to be every day it need to have something new. That it sounds very challenging, but I like that kind of feeling. So I think that's why I just don't want to follow anybody else. Just wanted to make my own decision.
I love that. So how did you decide on what product you were going to go to market with? Where did the whole idea come from?
It's actually, I was not intentionally to start a skincare business, because I didn't know that how competitive this industry could be. Back then when I was in China, it was only during my, I think, university, I was so obsessed with all skincare product, and I literally tried everything and buying a lot of cleansing device and cleanse my skin every single day. But it was during that period, I think my skin was the worst. I got a lot of skin issue, like breakout, redness, sensitive, and
Wow.
only until I shift my focus towards something else, then slowly my skin become better. So now I have this philosophy, like lazy on skincare actually is good skincare. So I'm obsessed with fashion, but not a big fan of skincare or beauty. But once I moved to here, I heard a lot of people mention they have sensitive skin. They even have like eczema, rosacea. I haven't heard about those skin issues back then.
Wow.
So I was like, maybe there's some like different skincare habits making people have this skin issue, because I have been living here for 8 years now. And I think my skin is still healthy, it's good. So I think there must be something wrong with it. Not wrong, but like different.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so when I worked in my full time, and because I shared that I tried to do a lot of things in different industries, so a lot of new things. So I have this very special morning routine. So I once I find something that is hard, that is new, but I know it's important. If I maybe acquire these skills or knowledge, it will be the one thing that can move the needle to make the rest easier. So instead of doing that thing after work, I decided to do it right after I wake up. So in that case,
I like that.
I wouldn't feel overwhelmed, or I don't feel I wanted to, procrastinating on that. I can make sure every single day I have this dedicated time, focus on these things, and also, have at least 1% progress every single day. And in this case, I'm not smarter than anybody else, but I could learning things fast and make things done quickly.
Yep.
So that was my idea. So after that studying, and then I will start my morning routine and doing like meditation and maybe workout. So many things packed in my mornings. Even I get up early every day. One day I felt like maybe I could do something that is, can compress everything into one product rather than, there are so many bottles on your
shelf.
Yeah, on your shelf. And that's it. And that was how this idea started. So we didn't randomly wanted to oversaturate the market. We literally wanted to create something that may not be seen or been educated in the entire market, and we wanted to innovate something. So that's how we started to thinking maybe we can get into skincare business. So I started to talk to my husband, because luckily his family doing the formulation for more than 30 years, but overseas.
Oh, wow.
So we started to...
So they knew the space already?
Yes.
Oh,
yes.
wow, cool, yeah. That's good.
So I think that's our biggest advantage. Even though we don't know the Australian market, how the sales going to be, but at least from innovation, product development, it's going to be our advantage.
Yeah.
So rather than find a manufacturer straight away here and just getting their samples and put on our logos and sell to the market, we literally start from scratch, from the idea that I had, and then trying to talk with the team to kind of innovative from scratch.
Yeah.
So that's why we create our first product, which is also until now is still our all-time bestseller in all the platform. So we're saying it's an all-in-one. It's a 3-in-1 product. It's your serum, moisturizer, even for girls, like makeup primer together. So you don't need to go through your routine. You got one product, but give you the full routine result.
Yep.
And the good thing is it's not only save time. As I said that, I think sometimes you just need less product, but you can get better and healthier skin.
You just want something simple.
Yeah, you just
Yep.
use something no-brainer. So that's why we think we wanted to solve the real problem. I'm not saying you shouldn't have your skincare routine, but maybe just in the rush morning like me,
Yeah.
you'd rather to use something like
Yeah.
simple. Yeah.
I've always been really curious around, like, my partner's also got lots of different potions and things
Yeah.
that she uses. I've always been really curious around, like, why you need so many different ones. Surely you could combine, several of them. And it sounds like that's exactly what you guys have done.
Yeah. I think if you talk to a lot of women or girls, it's fair enough if they have a lot of product, because maybe sometimes they have some certain skin issues they wanted to target. So it makes sense for them. And also we all curious a lot of like new things. So we wanted to give it a try. But I think once we talk to a lot of people in the market, we found that for them, night routine is very different with mornings. So mornings, most of the people will just put them like moisturizer or even just like SPF. But for the night routine, they wanted to slow down, spend a bit more time to take care of. It's all, I think it's about experience. It's not only about, I wanted to use this to solve my certain skin issues. I think skincare product, at the end of the day, it does as much as we expected, like get rid of your wrinkles straight away. No, it's not gonna happen. But I think it's just about experiencing that you really have your me time to spend a few times and with the product, and also have a healthy or glowing skin makes you feel good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How did you come up with the name MS Morning?
Yeah, I think as I explained, I kind of living in this morning different routine, and I'm really benefit from that. So literally, I think Miss Morning is my lifestyle, or it's my secret that how could I build this business. So that's why I'm not like suggest everyone to become a morning person. It's not something that
Sure,
but I do believe that if you wanted to create something for your own, you need to find a time consistently that you can focus on one hard thing. And you don't need to do much, just the one thing. But that thing has to be important enough and scares you enough so that you will be able to really challenge yourself and getting progress quickly. Yeah, so that's why. And also because as I said that being a good girl back then, I think I was lacking a lot of opportunities to really develop my skills, like basic skills as an entrepreneur. Like, for example, sales skill, definitely I hadn't had. And also communication skills, negotiation skills, maybe like marketing skills, paid ads, a lot of knowledge that I didn't know.
Yeah.
So for me, honestly, at the beginning of the business, it was tough. It was nothing like what I expected. So I've been through a lot of like up and downs and questioning myself and cried, felt completely falling down. But because of I am a morning person, and every day when I wake up and when I maybe say good morning to my family, to myself, and I feel that that frame is really powerful for me, because I feel like 100% bounce back, as if like nothing happened last night. So yeah, so that kind of the feeling really makes me thinking I wanted to share this kind of things to all of my customer or my community.
Yeah.
So I guess Miss Morning is more about like a way of thinking rather than just a selling product.
Yeah, that's nice. I think it's so important to also think about like what experience will your customer have with your product.
Yeah.
Yeah. What's been the hardest thing through the last few years? What's been the hardest thing that you've had to learn?
I think definitely selling skill. Yeah, I was a really shy person. Still now, I'm still an introvert person. But back then, when I first started, I think I can barely sell my product. We tried to sell our product in the local market. Back then, we were in Adelaide, so we haven't got many knowledge about e-com, how it gonna works. So we just try to sell our product in the local market, which we have a little stand and show up the people like what we got. And I always remember when I first worked in the market, and I felt so embarrassed. I felt so ashamed. I didn't proud of like being an entrepreneur at all. I didn't proud of like promote my brand to the customer. On the contrast, I felt why I am like I must be so failure to the point that I need to sell stuff on the street. Oh my God, that kind of feeling makes me feel so bad. But just right after me, there's another girl. I think she was in her like 13 or 14, helping her mom to promote their product. And she was so confident and comfortable. And she could even stop the strangers straight away and letting them to try the product. And that moment really hit me. And I realized there are some like basic things that I didn't have, especially the selling skills. So yeah, I think that was the first lesson or the hardest lesson that I learned. I think especially at the beginning stage as a founder, like you firstly need to obsess with your product. You need to 100% trust your business, and you should be the first one to sell your product no matter what, no matter you are introvert or extrovert, no matter you are good at what, but you should sell first and make sure this gonna work and this gonna, this model can work. Otherwise, if you rely on somebody else, if you get an agency and promise the moon to you, but it won't work.
Yeah, it's definitely important to, for the founder to be leading sales and marketing.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, no one else is going to have the same passion and energy to do that. Yeah, that's so interesting. If you could look back and give young Candice any advice before you started on this journey, what would you tell her?
I think maybe I would tell her just like following your heart, no matter what, no matter like how many people said it's not going to happen to you. Yeah, I think just follow your heart. And if you wanted to create something, just create it and protect it and feel proud of it.
Yeah. What do you think is a common thing that you see in this industry or in your space that's maybe a myth or something you wish you could tell people isn't true?
Yeah, I think, as we mentioned that when I moved to here, I found a lot of like skin issues that I haven't heard before. And I found interestingly that people here, especially local, it's really obsessed with exfoliating, peeling the skin, but those things that I never do to my skin. And also people use very harsh ingredient and high concentrated harsh ingredient. For me, I wouldn't do it as well. So I think for most of the people, because you already live in this environment which you don't have a good like sunlight, it's very harsh, and you also wanted to do a lot of things on your skin, it's actually damage your skin barrier. So keep it simple, I think is a must for a lot of people who have skin issue.
Yeah, a lot of people don't realize how harsh the Australian sun is.
Yeah, definitely.
Like compared to other countries.
Yes.
You and your partner run the business together. How have you guys gone about working out who's going to do what and avoiding lots of fighting? We actually didn't have any fight. Okay. Honestly, even though we did the same master degree back in uni, so I studied accounting and finance, and he studied accounting and marketing. But when we are running the business together, I found I'm not really good at numbers. Even I have had very
high score in the academic, but once it applied to like in the practical way, then I found my brain doesn't work that well. But he slowly finds he is really good at numbers, like calculating like the profit, the margin, and all of that.
Wow.
So now for me, I'm only focused on like social media, being the face of the brand and creating content, and some like paid ads, building up the website, these kind of the things, and the rest is all on him. So he will look after logistic, and like accounting and operation, communication, and even production side. Because I got a lot of like idea that it's maybe really hard to make it real in the real life, or it's gonna cost a lot. So it's not something that we can do at this stage. So he will tell me, oh, you should slow down and rethinking, and we can plan maybe something else.
Yeah, it's really good that you guys are in tune with your finance, because I know, especially in e-commerce, the two big things that you need to nail are one is the logistics side and two is the finance, because if you don't nail those two, your marketing might be stunning. Yeah. But if you can't get the product to the client and make money, it doesn't work.
Exactly. And I found it's interesting that we always think about how thick your margin could be. But I found one thing is much more important than margin is your cash flow.
Yes.
Especially
for e-commerce.
Yeah, especially for product business.
Sure.
Then at the beginning, if you bring too much SKU, which means you're gonna have a lot of cash flow issue.
Yep.
So I would rather to slowly bring more product, but focus on your like finding out your flywheel first, and just to keep it very minimum, so that you will have a healthy cash flow.
I think that's a very important lesson. I speak to a lot of e-com business owners, and I've also had a few obviously on the podcast, and it's a common theme is people just don't get the finance side right, like making sure they're managing cash flow, but also making sure that they've got enough product for when, comes like Black Friday, Cyber Monday now, making sure they've got enough for that.
True. Especially if you need a lot of stock. Then if you add in one extra SKU, which means you're gonna double the stock. And your cash flow gonna pay a lot.
Very quickly. Couple of rapid questions for you. Favorite holiday destination?
I think it must be China.
Okay.
I actually visit a lot of other country and very enjoy like the food, exploring new place, and even explore the new market. But every time when I go different place, my brain is always busy. I never feel relaxed. Only until maybe I go back to China and spend a time with family, even just eat homemade food, watching dramas, chat in Mandarins, I feel really relaxed. My brain is relaxed. So that for me is holiday.
Yeah, going home is always holiday.
Yeah.
Favorite book?
Contagious. I like that book. That book is basically saying why people wanted to talk certain things and how word of mouth is the best advertisement for every business, even though social media speak nowadays, but how you can work on your word of mouth.
That's true. A habit that you've got that you wish more people did or would also have?
I think the habit, it's definitely, I wouldn't say it's a habit. It's something that I aware very recently. I heard a quote, I heard a phrase that people saying in their podcast are saying, how you do anything is how you do everything. And if somebody paid you to do some tiny things, like wake up, like make a cup of coffee, I'm 100% sure you're gonna do it way different compared with what you do now. So why not just pretend that somebody paid you millions of dollars to let you live a good life and do every tiny things fully. So now I'm trying to letting myself to do everything 100% and enjoy the process and enjoy the experience, so that I think I feel much happier and feel much better. So I think the habits is remind yourself all the time, no matter big or small, as long as you wanted to start and do it fully.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think that's I love that quote. It's one of my favorite, because I think it's really important, for people to recognize that a lot of what you do is also very self-serving, in a sense that, when you wake up in the morning and you do something really well, whatever it might be, something small, ultimately at the end of the day, it's you teaching yourself discipline, and it's you teaching yourself to bring a higher level to life, rather than just accepting that you're just always going to play at a 60% or a 50%.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Life lesson that's had the most impact on you?
Life lessons? Yes, as I shared before, I think as a entrepreneur or whatever you wanted to do, trying to sell yourself first, and don't rely on other people. Try to build your muscle through all the failure or the experience, and gradually you will find your way out.
Candice, thank you so much for coming on The House Story.
Thank you for having me.